Welcome to Go For Side Effects. I'm your host, Kevin Simon. Y'all know my co-host, John. John, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
Everybody knows Wade. Wade, what's
Going?
up? Tina? Everybody knows
Good.
Tina. Tina, how are you doing?
I'm
All
doing
right.
okay.
So tonight, this is what it's about. Tonight is questions and answers. If anybody has any questions, if anybody want to talk about anything, we're gonna leave it open. Just type it in. We'll pull it up on the big screen and everything. But I do want to get in a little bit about a couple of things. It kind of maybe a rant a little bit, but I think this is important. So I heard RFK, since he's the new health secretary, and I hope he means every word he says. He talked about us being chemically poisoned, the whole United States. And it brings it, and all this ties into Gulf War veterans, and it ties into any Vietnam. Is the United States, everybody's suffering. It seems like the exact same thing: chronic fatigue, digestive system problems, nerve problems. I mean, you go to any nerve doctor out there that's not in the VA, and you got patients lined up that has a neuropathy, and so this is where this is important to me, is because he talked a lot about the children, and he says he's going to get down to what is going on with our kids, and why they're so tired. I mean, remember when we were kids, we had energy like all get out. Everybody's losing their vitamin B, D, and so they need to kind of figure out what's going on. But I really hope it gets to the bottom of it, especially for the Gulf War babies. And so so tonight there's a few things that I would like to also talk about. Is also what's important to me is crisis hotline. Now the crisis hotline, you know, saved my life, and so we're going to put the number up here in the text. It's 988 press one, or text 838-255. It's up here. Now I want to cry anybody in crisis, and that's a lot of questions that a lot of people have. Is, what does the crisis helpline do? Well, I can tell you, they help you get through it. They help you get the doctors if they need to get police, if they need to say EMS to you. And I think that's important. Anybody want to add anything to it?
I mean, I've called it. I've used it. It's one of those things that you got to kind of. The vast majority of us would concede to when we're talking to somebody. We're not in a good mood. You need to talk, and talking, you know, most generally calms you down over a little period of time. And if they need, they meaning the people you talk to, if things are bad enough, they, obviously, I mean, before we came live, I mean, you have a cell phone. I mean, if you're on the phone with them, they can pinpoint where you're at and get you help. So
Oh yeah, they had a
you know,
trauma unit waiting for me. I was impressed, man. I was really impressed. And that's what tonight's about. Let's talk about question answers. If y'all got something to talk about the VA, I did send an email. I talked to the whitehouse.gov people, and I actually found a number for Doug Cullen's office, and I sent it. They gave me an email to email, and I sent him an email and asked him to come on the show. And I think it's important. I would love a VA secretary to come on here, because they always talk about post 9/11, Afghanistan, Vietnam. But I think they need to come out and talk directly to Desert Storm vets. I mean, when y'all listen to them talk about any president that gets up there, the first thing they talk about is World War II. And then you hardly hear them talk about the Korean War. Then they'll talk about Vietnam, mention Vietnam. They
Vietnam,
skip they
and then
skip right over
and
Desert
then go to
Storm.
post 9/11 is where they go next.
Right, right.
So
And so this is why
it,
I like about the question and answer. If you have the most off the wall question, I don't care. Y'all start asking questions and everything. And Tina, I know you, I know you're not feeling good and everything, but the pneumonia is going around too, ain't it?
Yeah, I think for me, I had a sinus infection and I ignored it because I was so busy at work. and
That's
I
the
just
sign of old age
and
when
then
you
I just
start
let it.
ignoring it.
I ignored it for like two
Wow.
weeks, and then it took me. It decided it wasn't going to be ignored anymore. So I'm on antibiotic now. I'm good. Which, if
That's
you know
good.
me, me taking a pill is like I don't do that.
Right.
So
And I want to talk a
Well,
little bit.
I'm glad you.
Go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say I'm glad you listened to either that or it was your husband say, "No, you will do this." One
It's
of the
probably
two.
her husband.
I
It's
don't
her
know if that
husband.
works in your family, but I mean, sometimes, the
I,
spouse can twist your arm a
but
little bit.
but I will say this. So
part of it.
last week we had Dr. Nicholson on, and he talked about was it lippy cells, right?
Lipids,
Lipids.
lipids,
Lipid
lipid
cells.
replacement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
replacement. Talked about the NT factor, and
Yes.
I looked that up. And last week, it got really interesting to me towards the very end, about the last 15 minutes. I was like, man, why didn't you talk about that in the very beginning? Because, man, it was interesting because he talked about chronic fatigue. He talked about neuropathy. He talked about, everything we're ailing from. I mean, his stepdaughter came home and I mean, they thought she was going to pass away. And look, she's thriving. She's doing great. So, y'all give NT Factor, a try. That's how I feel about
So,
that because,
so
I mean, Wade, he's our guinea pig. We send him to every researcher out there and, we're like, hey, man, how's it going? And so, and I do believe the one that is going to be coming to an end is Nova. Nova is going to be coming to an end. And I really and truly believe that Nova Institute, Dr. Glom, the Washington State ones, or Washington D.C., uh, is it Alabama, and and Dr. Nicholson. I think each and every one of them have really good intentions for us, and I, I just don't know if
I
we
don't know.
just have so
I
much elements in
I
us.
don't know. I don't know if we'll make it through the cuts. We were talking a little bit before we came live. There's a lot of governmental cuts going on, and you don't know what's going to be on the chopping block. So that's why one of the reasons we're here trying to share the information we got. I mean, Wade, you were the one that introduced us essentially to Dr. Nicholson and the products that he helped develop for us you know and that's how we came up and we learned about the NT factor and Dr. Nicholson because he is he developed or at least I don't know if he solely developed it. Wade, correct me if I'm wrong. It was a combination of people that developed that.
Yeah, and then he basically started using it for his research to see what it could do, I believe, is how it came about.
So in a nutshell, it's lipid replacement therapy and because again Dr. Nicholson, because that's what he's done his whole life. It took him a while to get to the nuts and bolts, but like it would any one of us, there's always a backstory of how something took place. And he kind of wanted to start to a degree from the beginning, which he did. And it was very interesting. That's where we were like, oh, and then we got down to how much of this stuff do we take? He explained that. And, and, I'm on a regimen of a measured regimen, and it's like Wade said, it's a very how did you describe it to me? It's not like taking an energy drink. It's a very slow progression of, oh, I actually have some energy. Oh, I feel halfway decent today, you know?
And my hair is
So
growing back.
Right.
I
that
mean, look,
ship has
Wade
sailed.
Wade used to be bald.
And look what happened after a week. Wow.
That was just for entertainment purposes only. It does not grow your hair back. But Tina, thank you for posting all that. I love that. Thank you so much. And that was the fastest typing I've ever seen anybody do in my lifetime.
It's
And but I also want to talk about red light therapy. Since nobody's asking questions, y'all jump on and ask questions. Red light therapy.
I can get behind that.
I have heard so many neurologists start referring their customers to red light therapy, and they tell them they should do it 3 to 4 times a week.
Well, do tell, Tina. I'm intrigued because I don't know anything about it.
So if I had the funds, I would buy my own red light therapy bed, right? But I have like a red light therapy mask that I use that I put on. I look like I belong on the show Tron or something when I walk around the house with it. But
We need pictures. I'm just saying.
I I could probably journey up one. My dogs didn't like it at all, but so it's definitely has a lot of health benefits as far as like cell rejuvenation. It penetrates certain levels. I don't really understand how it works. I know there's a difference between like infrared and just red light. And I think there's even something more powerful than the LED red light. So there's like different nuances within it.
If that's something you're interested in, Kevin, I actually have a pretty good background in UV light, and I do know a red light therapy expert, which I'm sure he'd be more than happy to come on and explain red light. But Tino said something about buying a red light bed. Normal tanning beds that you get, you can actually convert those lamps. All you're basically you're changing out the regular lamp for a red light therapy lamp. I can tell you in Iowa, red light therapy is illegal, as I can tell you as of in 2020.
Why?
It's against the health
Legal?
department.
It's probably owned by the pharmaceutical industry, right?
Yeah, I mean it's by prescription. That's as like I said, I got out of everything in 2020, but as of then it was illegal. There's been a lot of there are devices out there, and I mean I didn't know we were going to talk about that, but you can go to a spa or salon or just Google red light therapy, and there's a device that you can actually lay in that'll come down, and it's 3 panels that'll cover you, and go to a spa and pay. It's fairly expensive.
Well,
To go
I
and
mean,
do it.
I saw for like 700 some bucks, you can get a pad where it literally covers your
Jeez,
whole
Lou.
entire body. And then they also
$700.
have, yeah, and you know, I know Pete didn't write this, Christy did. But they said that they add a blue light that adds a vitamin D component, component. And I mean, I mean anything you can do without taking, you know, hard chemicals. To me, I think that's great. And I mean, I know somebody that uses red light therapy because they have neuropathy, and they're telling me they said they're getting feeling back into their feet, and it's a boot. And then somebody was telling me to buy the wrap. That one guy has a wrap he wraps around his waist, and then you can wrap it around your arm. So I mean, blue light therapy. I mean, for vitamin D, that would be great for a lot of people also.
And if you're talking also, since we already went there, you know, a lot of Gulf War veterans have a lot of skin issues. You
Yes.
see a lot with rashes, eczema, psoriasis. If and I'm not telling run out there tomorrow and do it. Do your own research. I have a very long past history with this, but if you go to a tanning salon and just use a normal regular tanning bed, and you're looking for UVB light is what you're looking for.
UVB.
UVB regular tanning lamps are composed of UVA and UVB, and that's a normal, but a higher UVB percentage that will help with skin conditions. But it will also help. You're exposing your skin to UV light, and then what does that do? What do they tell you when you want vitamin D? Go out into the sun, and then
Into
your
the
body's
sun.
going to
Yeah, so
start
that
making
makes sense.
Right. And these days you can
Can
really
you
get
see
burned
that?
up.
I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of.
Oh, I see it. I see it. It's
You
very
get like a
scary.
mask on. Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that on TikTok Shop.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has different colors too. So
And from what I understand, it's also good for your skin, and it will also help you with aging spots. A lot of people were telling me about that, so I want to bring that up. And also for people who suffer for, I mean, this is what I also recommend. Like like my wife, because she has a bad back, she goes gets it cracked once a week. You know, she goes to a chiropractor, they crack it, and then she'll sometimes go to a massage therapist and let them work it out. That's also good. You know, there's other ways out there besides taking pills to kind of deal
I
with
mean,
your situations.
I use chiropractor pretty regularly, and I know when when things start to stiffen up, when that neck starts or the shoulders start having problems, or you know, I mean, some people just, my wife, she don't really want anything to do with the back, but she's like, nope, won't do it.
Me
So,
neither.
to each their own, but for me, it helps. Um, you know, hey, the VA will take care of, obviously there's variations with everything, but service connected, you got the right person, you can get Uncle Sam to flip the bill for it. So and when I say, and I don't say that in, because there's some people out there with well, I don't want to take money away from somebody else. No, you're screwed up. And if it's not just because of old age, if it's because of your time in service, then go get it squared
That
away.
and I'll tell you what, my kids that for Christmas bought me this foot massager, and I use it every night. And I tell
Oh,
you
really?
what, oh man, if you got plantar fasciitis, if you got neuropathy in your feet, you need to get one of them foot massagers. It's on TikTok shop. Y'all just go check out TikTok and type in foot massagers. And you'll see people laying on the bed. I lay on the bed and I can kick it straight up and I can watch TV and I get a 30-minute foot massage. And this thing does better than anything I've ever done. And
Wait a
I
second, this
love
thing
it. It
straps
has
on to
heat.
you?
No, you just stick your feet in it.
Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. I
It
think I know. I think I've
yeah.
seen. Is there water to, or is it just heat?
No,
I mean,
no,
electric.
no, it's just electric and it has heat and it has cool. I mean, it works great. And then
Oh, okay.
and then also,
Usually, some people would say, "Well, that's up to my spouse," but that usually doesn't ever work for very long.
oh, I like this one, Linda. I'm gonna put this up here.
That's
Uh,
therapy
uh,
for pain.
my, Myofacial is a
Yeah,
massage that
I
does
think
for
you
therapeutic
pronounced.
for pain.
I think you
Myofacial.
pronounced that righty. Yeah,
I think I said that pretty good, if I say so
I think
myself.
you did.
And
Do
it
you
is
think
good for pain. And then
that gizmo that you showed Tina? Do you think you're getting what you wanted out of it? Do you think it's paying off?
Well, I got to use it more often. I don't remember to use it. I forget I have it. So I'm not real good about
Oh,
well,
getting a
also,
routine going. So
so I know
oh,
a lot of people deal with migraines. That's a really big thing. You can
yeah.
ask the VA to do Botox, and
Oh,
that is really no, it is. It's good for migraines. Uh,
Botox?
yes,
Oh yeah.
my father-in-law got it for he. I think that him and my wife, that's just something in their genes that's genetic. And the guy, Dr. Wu, he was like, "Hey," he goes, "Have you ever tried Botox?" And man, it worked. But after a while, insurance,
Really?
yeah. So
And
also,
the VA does offer it. I go to a headache specialist, and mine is not. You don't get Botox for my headaches, but
that's why your skin looks so good,
yeah.
Wade.
So no, my skin my skin's from a lifestyle, brother. Lifestyle changes. But yeah, the VA does offer it. So
And
they did offer it to me.
and I see like they're using Ozempics and all that stuff for pain, also weight loss. I don't know much about Ozempics or anything like that. I know it's
That's got a lot of
got
side effects.
yeah, it does. I know it
yeah,
does, especially in the
you can use
stomach.
berberine. That'll, if you like take
Berberine,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a better choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Wade, you sent me information about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, so there's so much out there without taking pills every day that I think can really help you. I mean, I don't recommend you ever getting off of your pills, but I mean, come on, I take 600 milligrams of Lyrica. I take 34 milligrams of Valexafen, or Valexafine, whatever they call that, an effexor that mixes with, uh, and my feet still felt the same. There are days that burned, and then you got the herbs, uh, NAD plus boosting, and we were introduced to that by Wade. We started taking NAD plus boosting, and
That's
also the patches, which I I I don't push them, but I do recommend them. Anything that is non-medicated, I try to push as much as I can. And so I'm learning more about the red light therapy. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give that a whirl I mean, but I'm not sure in my particular circumstances it would necessarily help because everybody's situation is different.
Well, they
But
say it's good for the gut. Red light therapy is supposed to be good for everything.
I guess I'm one of those. I mean, I'd have to do some. Well, Wade had commented that there's somebody he knows that's very well versed in that, and so that might be an interesting subject matter all on its own, just to try and figure out because I don't know anything about it other than that little bit that Tina shared. What Wade has shared, I don't know squat about it.
I want to read this one. How do you get any therapy? I was told I can only get one referral at a time, either chiropractor or massage, acupuncture, but not only concurrently. That's false. Yeah, that right there, I know is false because I
Yeah.
was offered acupuncture. I was offered I told them no chiropractor, but the massage and all that. What you do is here's the best way, Linda. This is the best way you can do it. When you send a message, don't tell your private physician. You go on My Healthy Vet and you put in there. If you look in there, you can literally see that. What's that person called? That is over them.
Like a patient advocate's on there.
Patient advocate is on there, and you can list your patient advocate also in there and say, hey, I would like to do massage therapy and acupuncture and chiropractor, and you're not going to get turned away from that because they do not want to hear from them if they tell you no. I promise you that. Patient advocate is a good way to go. And use your patient advocate, guys. If you're not getting what you want, use your patient advocate. And
Yeah,
I
'cause,
mean,
see, I don't. In the beginning, before I was service connected, I didn't understand how things work, and now I understand. Hey, you know, yes, we've had actually this very conversation. Go to My Healthy Vet and do it that way. Put it in print, and they have to respond to it. If you make a phone call, you can't really track that, So you get on there, and if you're not able to do it, talk to a family or friend, somebody that is
but
more
but
computer.
there
Because some
really
people say, "Well, I go ahead."
but John, but there really isn't a My Healthy Vet anymore. It's all done on VA.gov now.
Oh, well,
Eh,
I know what you're saying. They
uh,
changed the platform a
right.
little bit. So
I thought that was so dumb. I liked it to be separate. It was so easy to work it. And now I have to learn in my 50s again how to learn something. It's not that easy when you have brain fog. Oh, and that's the other thing that I did hear from from the health department is that they're going to look at see why so many people have brain fog. And the-
well, that ought to be some interesting research right
I would
there.
love to know. But to me, I think a lot of it could be the medications. All the medications
I
people
wouldn't
are on.
doubt that. Yeah. Well, I mean, Tina said, hell, if it wouldn't, evidently Tina, you said you hate taking anything, and it was kind of an arm twister to get you to take uh, the stuff you get for your
Antibiotic,
brain,
yeah.
your sinus, yeah, your antibiotic.
And
I
that's
mean,
like
I get
that's
it.
like no for me as an antibiotic. Like I'll do oregano oil, I'll do everything, I'll do garlic, I'll do anything but that. But
And
I
I
was
want
losing.
to John, I'm going to read this. Gulf War syndrome. I have seizures, strokes, and vertigo. I can tell each and every one of y'all out there, I've met more Gulf War vets that have vertigo and strokes. I haven't heard too many about seizures, but I have heard about the strokes and the vertigo going on with Gulf War vets. I don't know if y'all have heard about that. I like to see if they actually do a study of how many Gulf War vets compared to the average people have strokes and vertigo problems.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, that'd be an interesting bit of information. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I got. Can y'all, like, let's talk about, do y'all react really hard to strong smells? Like if
Oh,
you're going
Oh
shopping and you're going down
God.
the laundry aisle. If you're going down the laundry aisle and smell that, I'm like, nope, I'm done. Or if somebody's burning something, or
so
I
just
walk
I have
I
a
walk
theory.
Oh, go ahead. I want to hear your theory.
So I've done a little research on fragrances. I have literally thrown away all the candles in my house. I used to keep those little like
oh,
Bath and Body Works plugs in the wall. That fragrance is one of the most toxic things that we have out in the world right now. And my theory is the reason, at least maybe I'm so sensitive to it, is because our body's already on overload from all the other toxins that it's been exposed to. And so that's just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. And it was hard because I love me some candles. Like it
I
was really hard.
I have a very strong smell for oil. If I smell oil, it is like
Oh,
it's
I get
like
rageful if
disgusting.
I smell diesel.
Oh
Like
yeah.
oh,
like
really?
it brings me to
Oh,
like blood boiling rage. Like
If you go back and read, I mean, which I don't expect many people to, but if you go back and read some of Dr. Nicholson's earlier research, he'll actually go into, for instance, new construction of houses. They advised veterans to stay away from new construction. You get into a new construction house, you have new paint, you have new carpeting,
oh.
and then all those chemicals are continuously off gassing, and then your multi-chemical sensitivities, and now you're, like Tina was just saying, the overload, and that was part of that whole initial research program that they did way back. And I bought my house in 2000, and that was just something specific that I had paid attention to.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about that. I mean,
Oh,
yeah. Thanks a lot, Wade.
I know.
I love to hear that right now.
Well, I'm just saying, just throwing it out there, man. Just trying to help brother out.
As my house is being built.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny. I didn't think. No, it's not funny because now you're gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, I mean,
I've been walking over the
when
math.
we paint a room, if we were decide to repaint a room in a house, and of course, paint fumes, you can vent and vent and vent all you want, and it just takes forever to
I
get
love
paint
painting.
fumes fresh.
I love
Now,
painting. I can
what?
paint.
You
I'm
love
dead serious,
painting?
man. I can paint a room out in less than one day. I painted my whole entire inside of my house in less than one weekend.
Oh, you're Mr. Busybody. No, I'm
Well,
talking
no,
about the
I was a
paint
boasters
smell. The
mate,
paint
man.
smell don't bother you?
No,
Paint
nope,
smell?
nope.
What about like smells of perfume? Like if you go into, like, I don't know, we have like what, Yonkers
Oh
and Von
yeah.
Maur,
No.
but you go to a perfume
No,
section.
thank you. No.
I kid you not. I mean, years ago, I used to walk down and we'd have to go walk through the perfume section. And it wasn't but a minute later. And I mean, my stomach would start grumbling and I had diarrhea coming. And it was just from walking through and
Oh hell.
smelling. I mean,
it
Really?
triggers all your autoimmune.
yep. And
Really what
I mean,
happens.
that's how bad it was.
So I use an app called the Yucca app, and you can scan your food and your like shampoo and all of that, and it'll tell you like the level of carcinogens and stuff that are in it, and it rates them to excellent. So I've even got to the
Yucca
point.
app?
Yeah, Yucca, W or YUKA, Yucca.
What? UKA.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that
honey,
out.
I gotta take
Yucca.
this
Yucca
off.
app.
I'll be back.
Jason put it up there.
Okay.
Jason put it up there.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
that's kind of cool because I mean, my
yeah.
will pay what like one spray of perfume on, and I mean I like the smell of the perfume, but that initial blast, just I about can't handle it. I'm like, nope, nope. You know, so I mean, I could put some cologne on, but then I got to close. If I put like a little cologne on myself, I've got to make sure okay, shut the door and make sure that the bathroom whatever vents out because those I just can't. Damn near knocks. Oh yeah, I'm almost done. And
Oh
my wife,
yeah.
I only put on a little bit. I'm like, well, that's all it took. You know.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, it's yeah, just the oil smell to me. Diesel, I don't mind diesel, but man, oil,
when you say oil, what kind of like engine oil?
yeah, any type of oil, man. I went and got my oil changed. I was like, oh my gosh.
Huh.
Oh, I like this one. I like this one. Can you walk down to the
No.
detergent aisle? Man,
I
If I
there's
if
actually
I'm walking down it, I gotta hold my breath.
I don't know
a
how many other people have a problem like with like you says the detergent aisle, whether it be like your laundry detergent, um, but the smells and over the last few years the detergent even using something like all free, and I've actually gone to a 100% natural laundry detergent. I'd put different stuff on and I would just break out into complete rashes. So I haven't used
Really?
like quote unquote commercial name brand stuff in probably 10 years. So I don't even go
yeah.
down those aisles.
And Jeff, he put down, the smell of the diesel smoke makes him want to vomit.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you, brother. I can't.
I,
Yeah, I if I see it like like a deuce and a half. If I hear the sound of a truck, a diesel or like the old 2.5 ton trucks in the military, that gives me a happy feeling because that kind of means, oh, I'm coming to get picked up from wherever the hell I'm at. But the diesel smoke that comes behind it, no, or any truck for that matter, if I get a big whoop of it, or you're going down the highway and get behind a freaking semi that's just bellowing fucking diesel. Oh, sorry, I'm throwing the F bomb. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I got to get the hell out of the aisle, you know?
and here's the other one. Like, y'all ever walk in places or something, you have that distinctive smell. Like, that smells like a different a country you've been to.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's called a
yeah.
BP gas station.
Uh, dude, yeah.
I'm just saying. It's yep.
Yeah.
We were at Disney, and I did this ride called Around the World, and it was all different places, and it was amazing that they got them smells down perfect because I was like, yep, been there. Yep, smells like that too. It was
Really?
amazing. Oh yeah. My nose
That's kind
doesn't
of
work like it used to after I got, COVID the first time. My smell hasn't been a whole lot the same, which is all right by me. I don't need to smell anything anyway that as much. But for some
yeah,
reason, oil, that's the only thing that gets me.
yeah, it smells. Nope, I'm way sensitive, and about the time I think I'm super sensitive, my wife go, "Do you smell that?" I'm like, "Smell what?" And I'm like, "How are you smelling that?" But she might, talking about, well, if one of the animals did something in the house, you're like, "No, I don't smell that." You go clean it up. No, I don't really have that much of a problem with that.
And
Keep
hold
everything
on,
pretty
hold
clean.
on. I want to answer this one. Why are my comments not being posted? Well, this is answers and questions. It's not comments. So I just want that to be known. People are making comments about stuff, and you know I wanted to address that. This is about answers and questions. This is about stuff that for us, that's the topic to tonight. I want to say that. And so I want to get, but the around the world, y'all have to do that ride. I'm telling y'all, man. If
And
y'all go
you're
do it,
you're at Disney World or
eh,
Disneyland, whatever it
then
is?
whatever
Uh,
Florida is, I
I
don't
probably
know.
wouldn't know what
Now
the smells were anyway from half of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
well,
so
you
We
were a
didn't even
Navy
go
guy, you're
see the
probably a lot
world,
more
Kevin.
places than We were. I mean,
Yeah.
you got,
We didn't get a paid tour.
yeah.
Jason wants to know, do you know why I have an aberration to oil, Kevin? Nope. I want to know. But it is something about oil. It just, oh my God. And here in Texas, you know, we go past sulfur plants. It smells like, oh my God, somebody passed gas like it was nothing.
Have you ever driven past a beet manufacturing plant? Now that smells like ass. I
Man,
mean,
I would, a pig, what y'all's pig farms, the plants,
oh well, the
whatever.
pig farms aren't exactly.
Oh
They don't
my,
smell. A dairy
oh
farm,
my.
I have no problem because it's a sweet smell. But
Y'all's
hog
Florida
confinement
farm is
areas
terrible, John. So
are
if you
what?
ever drive through Iowa, bring a clothespin to put on your nose in some of them areas,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. By the time you hit recirculate on your car, it's too late.
Yeah. I want to put Jason.
So
Right. Oh, here it is. Sorry, Jason. Variation. It's the oil fumes. Yeah. And that's mine too. I agree with that, Jason. But I mean, I, I tell you that's the one really neat thing though about being overseas, you know, traveling, you know, you get to see the world, but your nose knows every place you've ever been. You
yeah,
know, there's
I mean,
some parts I don't remember, but if I smell it, the memory comes back like that.
that's true. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Germany, and when I smell certain things, maybe
Their beer.
it's brats or or the beer, or at the Chris Kindle Mart, that was. I mean, that's who doesn't love a Chris Kindle Mart? That was awesome. But I mean, no, I mean to your point, yeah, exactly. I mean, various countries have their specific smells, just like some people from certain parts of the world have certain smells that aren't necessarily pleasant.
So let's
That's a
bring up
that's a
what's
different
coming up.
subject.
Yeah, let's bring up what's coming on next week. So next week, Wade sent me a video that we're gonna have, and it talks. It was a really good video, Wade. It's a little long, but it's a good video, and that's gonna be played next week. It's an older video that somebody made, and I believe who posted it? Jim Brown posted it
Oh, okay.
like back in 2016 or 17, around that time. And I want to play it because it is a really, it is a good video. And I think a lot of people have never seen it before. And I mean, if everybody should know who Jim Brown is, if you don't, he's wealth of information for us. You
Yeah,
can go
Jim's got
on
a
and
lot of
collect.
information.
He's got a lot of information. And so, you know, so that's going to be next week. And our whole new setup is getting better whenever the new podcast station is going to be done. I can't give a timeline. I'm hoping to be done by May or June. It's going to be bigger and better. But I mean, I really and truly, I just think that the more we go on with this, the better off that all of us are going to end up being. And
Yeah, I
even
mean, there's so much information that that we have, and a lot of hopefully, you had mentioned, and Tina might even mention. I mean, the bottom line is some of this research might go to the wayside because of the cuts. Maybe,
right.
hopefully not, but you don't
Hopefully
know.
not. But as the information comes out, we will alert each and every one of y'all on here about what's going on with cuts, what new is going to be going on with the VA, because that's important to each and every one of us and everything. Until it happens, I'm not going to believe what anybody else says or
No,
does or anything like that. There's so much misinformation on both sides
there's a
right
lot
now
of misinformation. Everybody's scared to
that
death because
is
they
scared
want to
to death.
believe him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And that needs to stop. Veterans need to start connecting with veterans. I mean, I've been on so many Desert Storm vet sites. It's nothing but arguing amongst each other
Yeah, that
about
doesn't.
what this
doesn't solve
president did, what
anything.
that president did. How about we get together and work as a team? That's what
mean-
we need to start doing. And I hope RFK keeps his word and starts looking into the children of the chemical exposed. When
Yeah.
he said that, I was like, I want to send it over to the Gulf War babies and be like, hey, y'all need to really hound him about Gulf War babies. And that's what everybody needs to do is not your elected officials, man, email the White House, have them start talking about Desert Storm vets. And I sent my email in. I hope I get a response back. I'm putting it out there. VA Secretary Collins, I'm asking you, just like I did last VA Secretary, come on the show. We just want to talk. That's it. We want to ask some questions. Then maybe he can give us an insight of what his plans are. So I'm really, really, truly hoping that we can at least get somebody from the administration part to come in and talk to us about maybe what Desert Storm vets can look forward to and with him being the new VA secretary. And so I'm
That would be
hopeful
nice.
I'm hopeful that anybody that takes a position would do right by anybody. That's how I look at it. And March is coming up, and March is going to be what I'm going to call our Be Nice Week. Open the door for people, kill them with kindness. Is that the best way of putting it? It's going to be Kill them with kindness month. Let's say that. I want to do Kill them with kindness. Open the door for somebody. If you think somebody's dressed nice, looks very professional, beautiful or anything, compliment them. If somebody does a good job for you, compliment them. It goes a long way.
Yes, I do. I actually thought when you mentioned March, I was going to ask you if you were, a big basketball fan and looking forward to March Madness. Is that
Actually,
where he's
no.
going with
I
this?
don't watch basketball because I'm short, so I don't care
You're
about basketball.
short.
I don't care about football because I'm too short. I
Short
don't.
people play
Hey,
basketball. You ain't got to be
well,
6, 7 foot tall to play basketball.
these days
know?
you do. Them guys are like 7'8". Don't give me that crud. I go up for a layup and they slam me real quick. And so we are coming up to the end of the show, and hey, I want to thank everybody who's jumping over to YouTube and our YouTube listeners and watchers and all that. If you guys could go over to our YouTube page, like and subscribe. We got a Patreon where we do the after the show. And what it does, it helps us spruce up. It helps us spruce up our podcast, make it nicer, more professional. When I first started, it was just a white wall and I was just venting to everybody in the world and everything. So y'all go check it out, man. And and if you need to contact me. And I'm getting a lot of emails at Kevin Simon at go4sideeffects.com. It's at the bottom of the screen. I want to thank everybody for listening, and we will see y'all next week. Thank you guys. We're going to the after show.